You know, Skeletor, your evil is almost a match for my own.
Yes, the evil emperor, a trope as old as time itself, used in endless amounts of movies, TVs, video games, used anytime you need a totalitarian dictator to tell your players what to do. So what makes someone an evil emperor as opposed to any other evil type of person? They tend to have complete control over whatever kingdom, state, or country that they're in charge of. Hence the name Evil Emperor. Usually this takes the form of someone who took the throne by force, someone who staged a rebellion but then became an evil emperor themselves, or someone who was born into the position and kept there just by divine providence. This person has a complete control over the country for one reason or another. This person may have other reasons why they're in power, like for example that Lord Zarkon is just a titan of a man in and of himself, but sometimes you just need the explanation of he is the king.
Some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice I am willing to make.
At any rate, these guys usually command the kingdom with an iron fist, got there legitimately or otherwise, and abuse that power with some sort of evil sidekick. But with such a simple idea, why did this trope become so popular? It's just someone who lords his power over everyone else. What separates it from every other bad guy? Why is it that when you learn about an emperor in any sort of media, that the next sentence is usually how bad he was? Well, we definitely have a lot of examples of evil emperors in history. Take Nero or Napoleon, for example. You can even look at more modern examples from certain world wars to get an idea of, well, an evil emperor is an actual thing that happened in history. Real life people took over a country, took advantage of its people, and did horrible things all because they wanted to either keep their power or get more power. The idea is that people in real life abuse their power. So it makes sense that when we're making something that relates to real life, that a lot of the main villains are also going to be people in positions of power who abuse them. And obviously, one of the biggest problems that comes with an evil emperor is that if that person has absolute power, they can absolutely abuse it with no sense of repercussions. Well, that was a historical explanation, but what's the narrative of people? Well, you see, as an evil emperor with increased amount of resources, you can hire whatever baddies you want. One of the things is that the heroes may never see the big bad until the very end. That allows you to make your emperor a big, scary villain without actually having him lose to the heroes. Can you think of examples of series that had villains get beat over and over again for them to just turn into sort of the side character who gets beat up every so often? Yeah, him. The evil emperor trope has a very neat way of circumventing that problem, which is hire more people. If there's a whole bunch of knights running around with the imperial sigil on them, or a bunch of bounty hunters that come and fight the heroes in the name of the big bad evil emperor, or some even bigger threat is terrified of the guy, then you can assume that your evil emperor character is in fact going to be pretty dang scary. It's not always the case. Most of the time it is, but sometimes they can be a little bit of letdown where all their extra power just amounts to the fact that they can escape better than most villains. But most of the time there is an actual power difference between him and his minions, and it doesn't seem to get deflated because the heroes aren't beating him every other week. They're just beating the little itty-bitty roadblocks to get to your evil emperor. Another big thing is that it makes any protagonist feel like an underdog. Even if the hero in the story is a prince, for example, If they're a prince of a smaller kingdom to the bigger empire, they're still a underdog because the big empire is fighting the little kingdom. That's not an effect you would get with fighting a crime boss. Take it from me, the Fire Emblem series would be a lot less fun if it was just a small-time crime boss causing all the problems, and not a huge empire with a lot more manpower and resources than even your little lordlings have. So this instantaneous underdog status for your heroes, followed up by the increased power of your villain, you can see why an evil emperor is so used in most media. They're actually a really easy villain to use, and you don't even need that much story for why they are the way they are. Heck, you could build it along the way. Maybe throw in, oh, this guy was super powerful at the beginning of your series, and then build up how they got to there. Though this is far from the only villainous trope that's out there, it was the first one I thought of covering because it just is so easy to do, and so common. But next time we're going to look into more evil things. I sincerely hope to see you then. But in the meantime, leave your comments down below, like and subscribe, and I'll see you later.